I'm Beverly Enos. This is Spotlight Georgetown. Welcome. And we're having a little giggle fest here as we get started today. You can find us Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. on your local cable station. Now, if you want to be part of this, if you'd like to be a guest, please let me know. If you know someone else that you would like to volunteer to be a guest, that would be great. If you want to become part of the process and learn how to run the cameras or learn how to do editing, they have the neatest toys down here that you've ever seen. It's amazing. We're on the 3rd floor of Town Hall, and no one would ever guess the type of equipment that is here. So if you want to become part of it, just let me know, and we'll make sure that that happens. Now, today we're going to be talking to Nico Zortzis.
That's true.
And we're going to be talking about Camp Leslie. So many of you have known that Camp Leslie is here for years and years. And how many years is it here for?
This will be, oh goodness, we opened doors. I was not there, but the camp opened in 1939. The land and the main structure that we have, that we refer to as the main lodge, was there before it was a camp. It was owned by the Leslie family. And when the husband passed on, his wife received the land, and then she donated it to be used as a camp for the children of Georgetown, specifically at first.
Oh, wow.
And so in the summer of 39, yeah, we became a summer camp. I guess before it was a summer camp, Mr. Leslie would have it almost as a retreat for his employees. And so I guess the train used to run right by the front of it. They would be dropped off, have their afternoon, and then head back to work. And then after he passed away, Mrs. Leslie decided it would be best if it was used for the children of Georgetown. So since then,
it's been a camp. And if anybody's been there, the main structure
has been there for quite a while.
Now that you say 1939, yeah. I can believe it.
And that structure has changed very little.
It's a really old style structure, but with a very modern kitchen.
Yes.
You know, there used to be a lot of police outings, and people used to rent it. They probably still do, but I just haven't been there lately. Now, are you from Georgetown?
I am originally from Ipswich, and I now live in Bradford.
But
so
you're
local.
The camp director.
I am the camp director, that is true.
So that's the position that you hold, and that's why we got hold of you to do the show.
There you go.
How did you get involved with Camp Leslie?
Let's see. When I was a kid, when I was younger, I was probably, let's say, 10 years old. I was a Boy Scout, or a Cub Scout at that point, and loved the Cub Scouts. Went on to really enjoy the Boy Scouts. Went to one of their camps, and I love camp, so don't take this the wrong way. I enjoyed their camp, I guess, but it was very rustic. Canvas tents on wooden pylons and latrines, and was not a fan. Was not a fan of the camp. And I consider myself an outdoor person, but was not a fan of that camp for whatever reason. And I had sworn off camping during the summer. Had said, nope, I'm done. Plenty of other stuff to do. And a very good friend of mine came up to me the following summer and had said that he and another very close friend of mine had signed up for this camp. And I originally said, no, I'm all set. You guys go ahead and do your thing. I'm sure it'll be fun, but I'm all set. And so they went and had a great time. The camp ended up being Camp Leslie. They did eventually talk me into it, and I went and immediately fell in love with the environment. It was then, and I think it continues to be a place where people can be themselves. When I went to camp, this would have never happened. Very introverted, very shy, did not want to talk to anybody.
Camp will take care of that.
Camp will take care of that, yes. Yes, when you have to sing for your meals, camp will take care of that.
Sing for your meals?
Well, it's encouraged.
Okay.
It's encouraged. But yeah, that will break you out of your shell. And so even after 1 week, I was hooked in a very real way. And I guess that's evidenced by the fact that this will be 19 years that I've been at camp.
And you're now the director.
And I am now the director.
So you know all the steps in between.
I do know all the steps in between, it's true.
So you started as a camper, as a kid, and overnight camp.
Overnight camp, yes.
Right.
We have day camp as well. But at that point, we did traditional overnight camp that we didn't even have a day camp at.
You could do a week or 2 weeks or whatever.
Yes.
Whatever you
want.
And then you became a counselor in training, CIT.
Yes. Yep.
And then a counselor.
And then a counselor.
And
then various other, yes.
Now, what have you done? We're going to take this aside for a minute. What have you done in your career field as opposed to your play at the camp field?
Right. I became a teacher.
Okay.
And that is really, that's what allowed me to continue to work at a camp. There are
Because you have the summer off.
absolutely right. There are countless people that I've worked with over the years that were tremendous counselors and chose fields that worked perfectly well for them, but that didn't allow them to stay at camp. The thing that, luckily for my sake, I chose to be a teacher and pursued that field, and because of that, I get to still do two great things involving kids that I get to grow and learn from every year. So,
Was that part of the decision of you becoming a teacher?
I think so. I don't know if I knew it at the time. I don't know if I knew at age 16 that someday I would have dedicated my life to working with children. I didn't know that. But I think that anyone who works with kids and has a love for it will always work with kids in some way, shape, or form, even if they don't choose education.
Yeah.
There are people who, might not ever teach, but still reach kids and work with them every day in some other field. So, but I was very, I guess, fortunate to realize what my strengths were at a younger age.
What type of teaching? What grade?
8th grade history.
Okay, my daughter is a teacher, and she actually changed majors so that
Sure.
she could be a teacher and be available in the summer to do things with children and camps and
Sure.
and things like that. So that happens a lot. So you started as a camper, and you're still there.
I am.
Now, what made you stay specifically, other than it was just so much fun?
To be honest with you, I think it comes back to there's a lot of stress and different things that pull you in different directions during the course of a school year when you're younger, when you're a student, when you're a child. Camp allowed me to be the person that I wanted to be. I didn't have to go in with any apprehension or worry about what people may have perceived me as. I just was able to be me. Silly, goofy, singing, dancing, running around, me. And because of that, I developed a love for it for myself. When I became a counselor, you very quickly changed gears to, I'm going to take everything that I loved about this place, every lesson I learned from every counselor I had that taught me how to love this place, that taught me how to be me, and try and turn that into your way to reach another group of kids, and then another group of kids. And then you after you become a camp counselor for a little while, then it's, what new ways can I come up with to make these kids have a memorable summer or make an impact in their life.
Because not all kids that go to camp are goofy, run around, sing,
That is
dance
very
kids.
true. That is very true. And not all of them need to be that either. I think, again, what's interesting about any camp, and this isn't just ours, I think about any camp that runs today, and obviously I have a very biased opinion, very
Okay.
biased opinion, but I think that camp allows kids today to be themselves in what is a very sometimes difficult to navigate world. It allows them to take a deep breath of fresh air, which many people don't have enough of a chance to do, and be themselves.
No, I grew up in Georgetown. We started here as summer kids, and we came here just for the summers. So where we lived, it was almost like going to camp.
Sure.
And it was different. There's so much pressure on the kids now, and life is totally different than it was then.
It's
and
very different.
To be able to escape like that is just amazing. I did go online to the website, and when I looked at it, I was really surprised. Camp is almost sold out.
Yes, camp is almost sold out, which
I
is...
I was really stunned.
Yeah.
Now,
Thank you. I still, no, to be honest, I'm still stunned by how popular we've become. Again, I'm glad, and I think that we deserve it.
You might be part of it.
But maybe. No, again, it's very much because I feel that we have bred a group of kids who have a very, very real connection with the place and really care about continuing the legacy of the work that was done before me, and that continues to be done, and hopefully will continue on long after I depart, which won't be for a while, but still. And I think that because of that, we instill very much a family traditional sense of community that continues on outside of camp.
You have day programs, which is a newer thing.
Yes.
But you still have overnight programs.
We do, very much so.
Are they still the little cabins?
They are.
Are they
a little cabin in the woods? The reason, let me touch on the day camp program, because part of the change that has occurred over the last, let's call it 10 years.
Okay, go through all the
Let's call it
changes.
10 years since I was a camper, is the fact that the world really did change. A lot of things made people very anxious about having people stay overnight, which is totally understandable.
Yeah.
And the world really has changed and become much more hectic and scary for a lot of people. And so the idea of a day camp program allows parents to drop off their children for the day and still see that they're in one piece after the day. And a lot of times it goes two ways. In one hand, some kids just aren't ready to stay overnight for any number of reasons. And the other hand, which is equally important, sometimes parents aren't able to drop off their kids for a week. And both are completely fine.
Yeah.
And when I meet with parents, I say that exact same thing. When you are ready, you'll know. And then we can't wait to have them stay overnight, because the real full camp experience comes overnight. As great as day camp is, and as many wonderful things as we offer, the full experience is when you have to help yourself get through a week and really get that full experience. So.
I'm thinking of the Hello Mother, Hello Father song of the
right,
old
exactly.
days. Because that's the kind of camp it is. It's a
Sure,
very rustic,
it is very
old-fashioned
yes,
camp.
if you were, the best way that I could paint a picture of what Camp Leslie is close your eyes and imagine what camp would look like.
Yeah.
Just the traditional camp. Campfires and s'mores and stories and sports in the morning and swimming in the afternoon.
Right. It does have a beach on Pentucket Pond.
It does have a beach on Pentucket Pond. It's little, but it gets the job done. And we have boating, kayaks, and canoes.
Okay.
And
Still, good.
Yeah.
Years ago, I remember you could hear the kids singing in the morning.
probably still could.
You probably still can, because the water carries across the lake.
Yes, it does. Ask the neighbors.
And, well, I used to live on Pond Street, and I'd be walking in the morning, and I'd hear all these kids. I'm thinking, okay, well, where's all this music coming from? And then it would dawn on me, because I'd hear the songs, and it was the campers singing in the morning. So, what other changes?
What has changed over the years? Let's see. In terms of our program, in terms of the programming of camp, it is traditional, but on the flip side of that coin, we've done a lot of things to improve our program and keep ourselves competitive, which you have to do. The one major change since I was young is the fact that we now offer programming that children can choose throughout the course of the week. And so once upon a time, it's time for sports.
Everybody has to play baseball. Everybody has to swim. Everybody has to
bingo. And that just didn't, regardless of time or what year it might happen to be, it just doesn't work that way. And in my opinion,
don't like baseball.
Right? It's okay if you don't like baseball. It's okay. We can't all like everything. The one thing that we do still very strongly encourage the kids to do is to take swim lessons, because in my very humble opinion, it's a skill that you should have. And it's not forced upon, but it's very strongly encouraged that even if you're a good swimmer, it can't hurt to become a better one. So that's still...
Plus, in the heat of the summer, it's fun to frolic in the water.
Exactly right, sure. When it's 100 degrees outside, especially like this last summer, where it literally was 95 degrees and up for 80% of the summer, it helps to be splashing around. So we do still encourage kids to do that, but outside of that, if they want to do archery in the morning, they get to sign up on Sunday afternoon. If they want to do a dance program, they can do that. If they want to...
Really? Wow.
The other change that we made was when I was making my way through, I liked the idea of having kids. It's nice to have a little 45-minute block where you can play a game of softball, or you can shoot hoops, or whatever you want to do. But I like the idea of every camper leaving with something they really feel that they learned, something they can take away from camp. And so in that vein, we started a all-week activity. So everyone signs up for something that they take every single day during the week that they're there. And what we offer is Survivor, which is outdoor living skills. So they'll learn things like how to make a fire, how to build a tarp.
Real camping stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, right. How to make trail mix and go on nature walks and that sort of activities. We do a dance program. So from Monday morning through Friday morning, the campers who sign up for that will literally learn a choreographed dance. We've been very lucky to have counselors who have taken dance lessons for the better part of their life, who can choreograph dances and teach them. And then my favorite thing about the dance program is that right before we do our weekly dance, where all the kids get to kind of relax a little bit and dance for a few hours, the dance program does to showcase their dance. So that's what we start our dance with every week.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it is. I think so. And then we also do drama, so much in the same light as what we have here. We have video cameras, and the kids get to make a movie in the course of the week. So they write out the script, and they act it out, and they show everyone on Friday before we leave. And then we also do, which one did I forget? Oh, we do high ropes. We have a high ropes program as well, where people learn trust activities and then eventually make their way up into the trees. And we will very luckily be adding elements to it, so we'll have a zip line this year as well, which I am looking forward to.
Have you ever done a zip line?
I have done a zip line
Where
before.
did you do it?
A few places. I've never done the 5 mile through the Costa Rican rainforest. However,
I did the rainforest in
Did
Whistler.
you?
In
really?
Whistler. Yeah.
How long did it take you to?
Oh, it was a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to do that. Ours is not quite that epic. It will be a couple
really
hundred
cool,
feet
though.
long, but I can imagine. I am very excited. I love ropes elements. I think that they're brilliant. I think that ropes elements allow kids to stretch their boundaries and really get a sense of accomplishment. If you can climb up a tree, for some people,
Yeah.
climbing up a tree in itself is an unbelievable accomplishment, and that's what we
Especially
encourage.
kids from a city, yeah.
Exactly right. That's what we really try to encourage with the ropes program. What any good ropes program would encourage is that for some people, getting to the top of the ladder is going to be the most difficult thing you'll ever have to overcome. For some people, you'll be able to run up the ladder, click in, zip down, get off, smile on your face the whole time, no problem, and that's tremendous. But there are a lot of people who literally making 2 feet off the ground is a tremendous accomplishment. And it's true, and you can see the kids, after they've accomplished whatever their goal was, really stand up taller and get a sense of accomplishment that they really have. It's marked. Look.
Yeah. I'm going to come down and play on the zip
There,
line.
please do. Please do. We'll hook you in.
There's something about when you hold on and they say pick your feet up, and all of a sudden you're gone and you're over the canyons and you're over, just amazing. Now, what else? What else do you offer?
So throughout the course of the day, we split up our program into 3 major subcategories. So we have the sports and nature activity area. We have creative arts, and then we have the waterfront. And so underneath the sports umbrella, we have
All
traditional
of the above,
sports, sure. But underneath the challenge activities or nature programming, we run a full nature program, and we're looking to improve that this year. We will bring people from the outside in, so we have Curious Creatures come in, which is great. They do an animal show. They're tremendous. Sorry, plug. And then we have a large enough site where we can do other types of nature programs. Yeah. We are nestled in. It's only 14 acres. If you drive by, you'd imagine that our front yard would be traffic. But what's funny about camp is that as close as it is to town,
it's quite a dirt road. You have to go down in there.
It's that those layers of trees that you just kind of just sink right away into camp world.
A couple of years ago, that camp was used as part of a movie.
Yes, it was.
Because I remember when they were taping it. And
interesting. Talked about an interesting
Yeah, it was, because I went down to watch part of it. And then when I saw the movie, I'm thinking it was a very short amount of time.
Sure.
You know, with the
Just
down
brief.
by the waterfront
minute
and
and a half,
the
2
building
minutes, sure.
and the canoes. I'm thinking, wow, that looks really good on the camera.
I know, right? What was funny about that, so anyone who wants to go back and watch that movie, during the off-season when we remove our raft, we leave line buoys in the middle of the pond so that we know where to find the raft again.
That's what we used to
If you
do.
look in the movie, over her right shoulder, you can see the buoys sitting right there.
Yeah.
And so when the movie came out, I took my staff to go see it in the movie theater. And obviously when camp came on, we were, camp, look, it's right there. And then after a few seconds of it being on, someone leaned over to me and said, you can see the line buoys in the right behind. You think that the movie would have taken, Photoshopped that little bit out.
Yeah.
But it was tremendous. As much as I love camp, and I hope that everyone else does and thinks that it's a beautiful place, you never expect Hollywood to come knocking at your door and say, hey, what a beautiful campsite.
Yeah.
Do you mind if we use it?
There were some good stars in there, too, and all the trailers down at the restaurant.
Yeah, it was a very interesting thing.
Now, the camp runs for 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
And you were saying Monday through Friday, so...
Drop-off is on Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
And then
pickup is on Saturday.
Is on
Right,
Friday.
so
Is on Friday.
On Friday.
Yes.
So Saturday is the day off for the staff.
For the staff, not for me,
Yeah.
but for others, yes. So
For the staff.
what we basically do, Sunday afternoon, parents come down, and what would essentially happen is you get your cabin assignment, you meet with me. If you've never been to camp, I get to meet and greet and let you know what we're all about, and certainly some folks who have been there for years, it's...
See ya.
Yeah. And you meet with a nurse and make sure that we have everything we need.
So there's a nurse on staff all the
There's
time?
a nurse on site 24 hours a day.
Okay.
With the exception of Saturday also, when we
Right.
all leave. Even I leave. I might be doing work, but I too depart. But there is a nurse that lives on site with us. There's a cook who lives on site with us, as well as 33 staff this year.
Really?
Yes,
a
we have
big
we have
staff.
a bigger staff because it can't hurt. Because of our popularity in recent years, we realize that the more staff, the better off that we'll be. Not in terms of necessarily coverage. We're more than covered for the amount of campers that we have, but now it opens us up to do things that we couldn't do if we had a smaller staff.
Right.
You know.
A lot of other camps closing? Or most of the camps still open?
I have heard of some closings. I think that camps in general are still doing well. I hope that they are, as much as I have heard, because there will always, hopefully,
There'll always be a need.
place for a summer camp program. It's unique. It is something
It
that
is.
cannot be duplicated. I guess the best way for me to put it, for camps in general, not just our camp, but I certainly hope that our camp falls under this umbrella. As a school teacher, I work for 8-9 months a year trying to reach students and make real connections with them and hope that I can guide them in the right direction and educate them. And that takes 9 months.
Yeah.
As a camp counselor, and I tell my staff this every staff orientation week, as a camp counselor, that same impact, that same connection can be made in a week,
Yeah.
in a day, in an hour, because there aren't any homework assignments.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. It's meant to be fun. And for the vast majority of kids, when they hit the ground, it's right to it. And what's even better is for the kids who hit the ground, they say, "Oh, I'm still a little apprehensive." Those are the folks that when they do, you can see that
When they
spark
get it, they get it.
That when they get it, that's when,
Yeah.
as a counselor, you say, "Wow."
Yeah.
You know, they hopefully will take this memory with them wherever they go. And I truly hope. I know that there are a variety of laws and initiatives that may or may not go our way, and 20 years down the road, I try not to think about it. But camp, to me, is unbelievably important in terms of an experience that everyone should have, adult or child.
I sent my kids to camp.
Good for
Actually,
you.
I sent them to a computer camp.
There you go.
And they're now in their mid-30s, and back then it was you couldn't find computer
Sure,
classes
yeah,
for kids,
sure.
so I sent them to a computer camp.
Good for you.
Now, it says 4-H Camp Leslie
Yes.
on the sign, but it's not really a 4-H camp.
Well, we do have a connection to 4-H, and they do supply us with some programming and help us out in terms of getting us off the ground and running. But in regards to our actual day-to-day, while our operating procedures follow the same as 4-H, for any program that encourages the growth of children,
Right.
and community and environmental protection and anything along those lines is going to fall under that type of umbrella. But in regards to how we literally run our day-to-day camp, it's traditional. It's a traditional summer camp, and that's pretty much the way that we run our day in and day out.
Now, you do have a website.
We do have a website. It's www.campleslie.org. And we have...
Oh, it's easy to find. Camp Leslie, and that just popped right up. Not
And
a
what's
problem.
great about that, especially in this new modern age, we have a chance to download all the pictures from camp for this last year. What I'm going to do for this coming off season is upload all of the drama plays that we get to film every week.
Yeah.
We do a skit night every week and get to upload those, so kids will be able to come home and say, "Mom, Dad, Grandma, whomever, look, here's all the pictures from the week I was at camp, and then here's the video tape of the play that we made during the course of the week. So
You're on Facebook as well.
we are on Facebook as well.
And
yes.
you have an alumni program.
We do have an alumni association. So if you go to Facebook and were to type in Camp Leslie past and present, you would find our alumni association, or there's a clickable link to it from our website as well. And it's a good way to keep our alumni connected to the place. We actually, for our third year, will do an alumni day where we asked people from any time in Camp Leslie's history to come down, have a barbecue with us, and enjoy the day. And that'll be on July 24th, which is a Saturday.
A fun day for all.
Hopefully, yes. We had bad weather 2 years ago. Last year was perfect, and I'm hoping that the third year will also have perfect weather and be able to allow people to come back to camp who miss it.
Huh.
So,
thank you very much.
Thank you for
I have
having
to tell
me.
you, this was fun. This
all
was
right.
great.
It was great for me
I wish
too.
I was young enough to go to camp.
I just like talking about camp. So anytime you want to have
I
me,
can tell.
I'll be here.
We'll have you back. I'm Beverly Enos. This is Spotlight Georgetown. Don't forget, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. And send your kids to camp. Bye for now.